The stars shone brightly over the vast alien galaxy, but the brightest light was not in the sky. It was the confidence of the Zorathian armada. Thousands of massive ships floated like dark mountains in space, each bristling with weapons and shields, stronger than anything humans could imagine. Their leader, High Commander Vrax, stood on the bridge of the largest ship, his many eyes scanning the tiny dots on the distant horizon. "They are coming," one officer said nervously. "The humans. Their fleet, it is small." Vrax chuckled, a deep rumbling sound that echoed through the command deck. "Small?" he repeated, his tone dripping with amusement. "Those are not ships. Those are toys. Tiny, worthless toys pretending to challenge the might of the Zorathian armada." The crew laughed along, their voices blending into a chorus of mocking disbelief. On the distant edge of the galactic map, a tiny cluster of human ships floated into view. They were so small that even through the alien sensors, they looked almost like dots of dust against the vast blackness of space. Each ship was simple, plain, and unarmed, or so the aliens thought. Commander Vrax waved his clawed hand. "Fire the laughter cannons," he said. Sensors on the alien ships began projecting holographic images of human ships as cartoonish toys, bouncing, clumsy, and fragile. The aliens roared with laughter. "How dare they send this pathetic fleet against us?" Vrax shouted, shaking his massive head. Back on the human side, Captain Elena stared at the alien armada through the viewing screen of her command ship, the Pioneer. Her crew, a mix of humans and android assistants, moved quietly but confidently. "They think we are toys," she said, a small smile forming on her lips. "Let them laugh. Let them mock. They will learn soon enough." The human fleet was indeed small, just a handful of ships, but each one was carefully engineered for speed and agility. Every ship had its purpose, every pilot trained for precision maneuvers. They looked simple, yes, but inside each ship were humans, brave, determined, and ready to face a force thousands of times their size. Vrax continued to study them, his many eyes narrowing. "Look at them," he said, pointing at the screens. "A dozen ships against our thousands." "What fools!" the officers murmured in agreement. They had studied the humans for years. Every time they encountered them, humans had survived by luck, by chance, or by hiding. Now the Zorathians believed they had no need for strategy. Humans were weak, fragile, and doomed. But even as the aliens mocked, the humans moved in silent precision. Captain Elena directed her fleet in subtle formations, weaving tiny ships like threads through the fabric of space. Every movement was deliberate, every choice calculated, and yet, from the alien perspective, it looked clumsy, random, and insignificant. Vrax decided to give a speech to the fleet, a final proclamation of superiority before engaging. "Soldiers of the Zorathian armada," he roared, his voice shaking the hull of the flagship. "These humans are nothing. A fleet of toys. They have no weapons that can pierce our armor, no minds that can outthink our strategy. Today we will crush them, and the galaxy will remember the day humanity was mocked and destroyed." His words filled the alien armada with excitement and pride. Their ships powered up, shields glowing, cannons charging. The hum of energy filled space, and the distance between the alien fleet and the tiny human ships seemed to shrink. Meanwhile, Captain Elena turned to her crew. "Remember," she said calmly, "they are mocking us because they cannot see what we can do. We are small, yes, but size is not strength. Speed, intelligence, and courage, that is our power. They will learn, but first we survive." Her words carried weight, and the crew nodded, gripping their controls tightly. The tension was high, but there was a quiet determination in every human heart. They were not afraid of the giants before them. They were ready. As the distance closed, one of the human pilots, a young recruit named Marco, whispered into his headset, "They really think we are toys." Elena smiled faintly. "Let them think what they want. Keep your focus. The game has just begun." Vrax observed the tiny fleet with growing irritation. "They move. Strangely," he muttered. "Not random, not weak, but coordinated." He frowned, a rare expression on a Zorathian face. "Impossible. They are just toys. They cannot be more than toys." The alien fleet roared forward, confident, arrogant, and ready to crush the humans. But as the first human ships moved like silver darts through the void, dodging easily past the massive alien vessels, a tiny seed of doubt began to form in Vrax's mind. The humans looked fragile, almost laughable, but something in their precision, their calm, their determination, hinted at a hidden strength. Vrax shook his head violently, trying to dismiss it. "No," he said aloud. "They are toys, nothing more. Nothing can defeat the Zorathian armada." And yet, the game had begun, and in the darkness of space, the tiny human fleet glimmered like a spark, small, seemingly weak, but full of a power the aliens could not yet see. The first part of the story ends here, with the humans approaching the aliens, mocked and underestimated, while the giants of the galaxy prepare to crush them. The question hangs in the void. Can these toy ships really survive? Or will they be destroyed before anyone sees the truth? The tiny human fleet glided silently through the cold void of space. Stars sparkled all around, but the real danger lay ahead. The massive Zorathian armada, hundreds of ships stretching farther than the eye could see. Despite their size, the humans moved with calm precision, their small ships weaving in patterns that seemed almost impossible. Captain Eleanor sat at the command chair of the Pioneer, eyes fixed on the view screen. "Keep formation tight," she instructed. "They think we are toys, but we are more than that." "Stay sharp," her crew nodded. Each pilot gripped their controls, alert and ready. These ships were small and light, but fast, and their sensors picked up every movement of the alien fleet. Every decision counted. Suddenly, the first incident occurred. One human ship, the Arrow, disappeared from the alien scanners. Not just visually. It vanished entirely from their detection systems. A Zorathian officer shouted, "Commander!" One of their ships. "It's gone. How is this possible?" Vrax's many eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible," he barked. "These are toys. They cannot vanish." He tapped a claw against the control panel, frantically issuing commands. "Scan again. Use all sensors. Find it." Meanwhile, the Arrow zipped through a narrow asteroid field, using rocks as shields and hiding behind debris. Its tiny engines glowed faintly as the pilot, Marco, maneuvered expertly. "I'm clear," he whispered to Elena. "They'll never see me here." Elena smiled faintly. "Good, keep moving. The moment of surprise will come soon." The alien ships moved confidently, firing scanning beams and launching small probes to detect the humans. They thought their vast size and superior technology would easily locate every tiny vessel. But every human ship moved differently, zigzagging, rotating, changing speed, so the alien sensors often read false signals or nothing at all. In the command deck of the flagship, Vrax's frustration grew. "Why can't we see them properly?" "This is ridiculous," he growled. His officers were tense. "Commander," one said cautiously, maybe they are hiding something. Perhaps they are more than they appear." Vrax slammed his claw on the console. "Silence. Impossible. They are toys. Nothing more. Nothing can threaten the Armada." But doubt had entered the Zorathian mind. He could not ignore the strange movements of the fleet. Ships appeared in places they shouldn't, disappeared in seconds and reappeared elsewhere. Every time he thought he understood their formation, it changed. On the human side, Captain Elena issued quiet orders. Use the asteroids for cover. Test their patience. Let them make mistakes. Remember, speed and brains, not brute force, will win this day. The humans were small, yes, but every pilot knew their strengths. Tiny vessels could enter spaces that the giant alien ships could not reach. They could dodge massive laser beams with split-second timing. And most importantly, humans could think quickly, adapt, and act in ways no alien machine could predict. Suddenly, one of the alien ships fired a scanning pulse, and for a brief moment, a human ship was detected. The aliens cheered too early. "There it is! Target acquired!" Vrax shouted. But in an instant, the ship changed direction, accelerated beyond the limits of alien engines, and vanished again. The aliens froze. How is this possible?" Vrax whispered, his pride wounded. "They are just toys. This cannot happen." Meanwhile, Marco and the other pilots moved in perfect coordination. Each ship supported the others, creating distractions and false signals. One tiny ship darted directly toward an alien sensor array, only to veer away at the last second, drawing multiple alien ships off course. Elena watched calmly. "Good, let them waste energy. Let them tire themselves. Our time will come." As the human fleet danced through space, a young officer aboard the flagship whispered to Vrax, "Commander, maybe Maybe we underestimated them. Perhaps they are cleverer than we thought. Vrax's face darkened. Nonsense, he barked. Clever? They are toys. That is all they are. This is impossible. Humans cannot be clever. They are weak, fragile, simple. But even as he spoke, another human ship disappeared from view, only to strike a distant asteroid as a decoy. The aliens scrambled to adjust their senses, realizing their confidence was slipping. The humans were small, underestimated, and mocked, but they were proving themselves capable in ways the Zorathians could not imagine. The first encounter had begun, and already the aliens were shaken. Elena turned to her crew. "We are doing well," she said softly. "They still think we are toys. Let them think that. Every mistake they make will bring us closer to victory. Stay alert, stay alive, and remember, size is not strength. Courage and intelligence are." The human fleet moved forward, still tiny, still seemingly fragile, yet carrying with them the quiet strength of determination. And in the shadows of the alien armada, a question began to form in Vrax's mind. A question he dared not speak aloud. Could these toys really be more than they seem? Could humans, so small and underestimated, actually be a threat to the mightiest fleet in the galaxy? The first encounter was over, but the battle of wits, courage, and strategy had just begun. And somewhere in the dark, tiny human ships moved with silent purpose, ready to surprise the universe. The tiny human fleet moved deeper into the dark expanse, weaving carefully between asteroids and debris fields. Every pilot knew the risks. One wrong move could mean destruction. Yet there was a calm focus among them. Captain Elena's orders were clear. Stay sharp, stay alive, and never show fear. Far ahead, the Zorathian armada gleamed like a mountain range in space. Commander Vrax observed every move of the humans with growing irritation. "They are clever," he admitted quietly, almost reluctantly. "Too clever for their size. But still toys." Vrax had a plan, a trap. He ordered dozens of alien ships to spread out and form a massive net. "We will crush them before they even reach our main fleet," he commanded. "They cannot escape once they are inside the net. They will regret mocking us." Back on the human side, sensors picked up the alien movements. Elena frowned at the readings. "They are trying to trap us," she said. "It looks like a wide formation, but there are gaps. We can use it. Marco, take the left flank. Liara, you and I will go right. Everyone else, stay in the center and create distractions." The humans moved as one, small dots darting like silver sparks against the black void. The aliens fired warning blasts, their massive weapons lighting up the darkness. But the human ships twisted and turned, dodging every shot. One of the alien warships aimed directly at the Arrow, Marco's ship. A massive beam fired, cutting through space. Marco's heart pounded. He banked sharply, narrowly avoiding the blast as it tore through a nearby asteroid instead. "That was close," he whispered. "Too close." Elena, observing from the Pioneer, smiled faintly. "Good reaction. Keep moving. Don't let them predict our next step." The trap began to close. Giant alien ships moved to block escape routes, creating what seemed like an inescapable net. From the outside, it looked hopeless. But the humans had planned for this. Small ships zipped through asteroid gaps, using the terrain as cover. Others created fake sensor signatures, drawing alien fire away from their real positions. One alien officer shouted, "Commander! They are slipping through the net. How are they doing this? They are too small to be seen, too fast to track." Vrax growled, a low rumble vibrating through his ship. "They are just toys," he hissed, though doubt flickered in his eyes. "Toys do not do this. This is impossible." Inside the trap, human ships coordinated flawlessly. Marco darted around the edge of an asteroid field, leading 3 alien ships on a chase. Liara and her team fired tiny EMP pulses at alien sensors, causing momentary confusion. The Pioneer stayed in the center, sending out holographic signals that made it look like multiple ships were coming from every direction. The aliens panicked. Their net was breaking apart. "No!" one officer yelled. "They cannot escape." But the humans had already predicted this. Elena's calm voice came through the fleet's comm system. "Stick to the plan. They will tire themselves chasing shadows. Then we strike when they least expect it." Vrax's fury grew as more ships escaped the trap. He could not believe it. His massive fleet prepared for a quick and easy victory, was failing against tiny human ships. Each move the humans made was precise, deliberate, and unexpected. Suddenly, one human ship, a decoy, accelerated straight toward the center of the trap. Alien cannons opened fire, but it twisted at the last second, leading several alien ships to collide with each other. Sparks and explosions flashed in the distance. The humans had used their size and agility against the brute force of the aliens. Elena watched it all calmly. "Perfect," she said softly. "They fell right into our plan. Keep moving. Stay focused. This is just the beginning." Vrax slammed his claw on the console. "Enough! Stop them! Destroy these toys!" But even as he barked orders, more alien ships were caught in the chaos, and the trap he had so carefully designed was failing. Inside the fleet, tension ran high, but so did confidence. Each human knew that their cleverness, teamwork, and courage were the only things standing between them and annihilation. "Remember," Elena said, "we are small, yes, but small can be deadly when we act as one. Trust your instincts, trust each other." The trap meant to crush the human fleet had instead revealed their ingenuity. The aliens, confident in their overwhelming power, were now beginning to see that their arrogance had been misplaced. Tiny ships danced through the void, outmaneuvering giants and creating chaos. Vrax clenched his claws, his pride wounded. "Impossible! These humans, they are not just toys," he muttered. His mind raced, trying to figure out how such fragile-looking ships could evade a trap designed to hold them. They cannot be stronger than us. But deep down, a part of him feared the truth. The humans were clever, agile, and dangerous in ways he had never imagined. The first major test was over. The trap had failed, and the humans had survived. Elena looked at the fleet, her eyes calm but determined. "We made it through," she said, "but the real fight is just beginning. They will try again, and next time we will be ready." The human fleet, small but fearless, continued through the darkness, leaving behind a trail of confused, frustrated, and angry alien ships. The first trap had been set by the Zorathians, and the humans had turned it into a lesson. Underestimate humans at your own risk. And somewhere in the void, Vrax whispered almost to himself, "They are just toys, but what kind of toys can do this?" The vast alien armada floated like a dark storm in the void, yet the humans moved with calm precision through its midst. The Zorathians had thought the first encounter was just a fluke, a tiny fleet of toys that somehow dodged their attacks. But now doubt was spreading through the alien ranks. Something was very wrong. Commander Vrax stood on the bridge of his flagship, his many eyes scanning the human ships. "They cannot be just ships," he muttered, voice low. "They are too clever, too coordinated. What are they hiding?" One of the officers hesitated. "Commander, sensors detect life signs inside the ships." Vrax froze. "Life signs?" he echoed, voice trembling. "Impossible. They are toys, nothing more, but the sensors were correct. Inside the tiny human ships, real humans were piloting every vessel, their hands on controls, eyes sharp, hearts racing but calm. Captain Elena guided her fleet like a conductor leading a symphony, every movement precise, every action calculated. In the flagship, the Pioneer, Elena addressed her crew. "They are starting to suspect something. Stay focused. Do not let them know our full strength yet. Every move counts." The first captured ship changed everything. An alien warship, frustrated by a failed attempt to corner the humans, fired a tractor beam and caught a small vessel. The humans inside struggled as the beam locked onto them. Marco gritted his teeth. "They've got me," he said. "I'm caught." Elena's voice was calm over the comms. "Hold on, Marco, we'll get you out." Inside the alien ship, the officers peered at the captured vessel. Through the viewports, they expected to see an empty cockpit, or maybe just a small drone. But what they saw instead made them freeze. Real humans, sweating and focused, were inside the tiny ship, gripping the controls with determination. "Humans," one officer whispered, voice trembling. "Alive, inside their ships." Vrax could not believe his eyes. "Impossible," he said, shaking his head. This cannot be. Toys cannot hold humans. How is this possible?" The revelations spread through the alien fleet. Confusion replaced confidence. Officers whispered to each other in disbelief. The humans they had mocked, the fleet they had labeled as nothing more than toys, were piloted by living beings. Beings who thought, who acted, who could adapt and fight back. Elena saw the reactions on alien sensors and smiled slightly. "They see us now," she said. "Good. Let them know, but do not panic. They will overestimate their advantage if we reveal too much at once." Inside the captured human ship, Marco adjusted the controls, carefully avoiding the alien security protocols. The tiny vessel pulsed with energy, small engines maneuvering it with precision. "I'm free," he whispered, releasing the tractor beam's grip. "Let's go." The humans struck quickly. The tiny ship darted past the alien vessel, slamming into its shields with a calculated force, creating sparks and confusion. Other human ships followed, small but coordinated, forcing the aliens to retreat and regroup. Vrax's rage boiled over. "No!" he shouted. "These are just toys. They cannot be human. There is no way." But the evidence was clear. The humans were inside their fleet, living, breathing, and outmaneuvering the mightiest alien armada in the galaxy. The arrogance of the Zorathians had blinded them, and now their pride suffered a devastating blow. The alien fleet's formations broke down in confusion. Ships fired at shadows, tried to predict human maneuvers, and failed repeatedly. The very notion that humans could think, react, and coordinate in real time was alien to their understanding. Vrax realized with growing horror that he was facing an enemy that refused to be underestimated. Meanwhile, Captain Elena guided her fleet through the chaos with calm efficiency. "They've seen us," she told her crew. "But they do not understand us yet. Keep focused. Stay sharp. Every move we make now shapes the battle to come." Marco and the other pilots executed daring maneuvers, striking alien ships where they were weakest. Each tiny vessel seemed fragile, yet each one carried the full potential of human ingenuity. They were underestimated, mocked, and now finally feared. The captured ship served as a demonstration. Aliens watched the tiny human vessel slip through their defenses, escape and regroup without losing composure. It shattered their confidence. It proved that the humans were not toys. They were courageous, intelligent, and alive. Vrax stared at the screens, his pride wounded, his mind racing. How could we have been so blind?" he whispered, more to himself than anyone else. "We mocked them. We thought them weak. And yet they are alive, and clever. Far cleverer than we imagined." The human fleet moved on, small but unstoppable, leaving the aliens to grapple with a terrifying truth. The beings they had called toys were real, thinking, fighting humans, and the galaxy was about to see just how dangerous those humans could be. The first shockwave had passed. The reveal was complete. And in the void of space, one question lingered over every alien ship. How could such fragile-looking creatures command such power? The answer would come soon, in battles and maneuvers that would test the limits of courage, strategy, and survival. And in that, humans would show the universe the true meaning of strength. The human fleet, once mocked as toys, now moved with confidence through the chaos of battle. The Zorathian armada, massive and terrifying, had been shaken by the revelation that humans were piloting their own ships. Confusion rippled through the alien ranks, and that hesitation was all the humans needed. Captain Elena watched her screens carefully. "Focus on their weak points," she instructed. "Small ships, fast strikes, coordinated attacks. Don't let them regroup. We are turning the tide today." The tiny human ships darted like silver sparks between alien vessels. Every movement was deliberate, calculated to exploit the massive fleet's blind spots. Even the smallest human ship carried precision weapons, capable of disabling alien systems far larger than themselves. Marco, piloting the Arrow, zipped past a towering Zorathian cruiser. Its shields glowed as it fired, but Marco twisted sharply, sending the alien lasers harmlessly into empty space. "They can't hit me," he muttered, a grin forming on his face. "Not today." Liara's team targeted a command ship at the center of the formation. Using synchronized attacks, they disabled several communication arrays, creating confusion among alien officers. Without clear orders, alien ships started firing at each other by mistake. Sparks and energy blasts lit up the void like a deadly fireworks show. Vrax roared in frustration. "Stop them! How are these toys, these humans, doing this to us?" His voice trembled with disbelief and anger. "They are too clever. Too fast. Impossible." The humans pressed their advantage. Captain Elena issued calm, precise commands. Marco circled the left flank. Liara, provide cover fire. Everyone else focus on their shields. Find their weak points. Move as one. The human fleet responded instantly. Ships split and regrouped, dodged, feinted, and struck with surgical precision. Every alien ship targeted seemed to falter, caught off guard by the speed and ingenuity of the tiny attackers. One by one, critical systems on key alien vessels were disabled. Shields failed, engines sputtered, and weapons misfired. The gigantic alien ships, designed to crush entire fleets, now struggled to defend themselves against small, agile humans. Vrax slammed his claws against the console. "Impossible!" he yelled. "How can they—" He paused, realization dawning slowly. "They are humans, not toys. They are outsmarting us." The tide of the battle shifted rapidly. The aliens, once confident in their overwhelming power, now moved defensively, trying to protect themselves from the unpredictable human fleet. Small human ships coordinated attacks on multiple fronts, striking simultaneously and retreating before the aliens could respond. Elena saw an opening. "Now," she said quietly, "hit their command ship hard. Focus everything we have." A wave of tiny human ships surged forward, targeting the massive alien command ship. Explosions rippled across its hull. Alarms blared inside the Zorathian flagship. Officers scrambled to respond, but every move the humans made seemed calculated a step ahead. Marco fired a precision blast that disabled the ship's main weapons array. Sparks flew, and the massive vessel groaned under the assault. Vrax's face twisted with fury and disbelief. "This cannot be. We are the strongest in the galaxy. How are they doing this?" The humans did not wait. Liara and her team launched another strike, this time targeting engines and navigation systems. The giant ship lurched, struggled to maintain formation, and blocked the alien fleet's coordination. Elena's voice was calm but commanding. "Keep pressing. Small ships, stay agile. Attack weak points. Remember, we are stronger together." The human fleet moved like one organism, each ship supporting the others, each strike precise and deadly. The once mighty Zorathian armada now faltered, their arrogance replaced by fear. Their toy fleet had become a nightmare. In the chaos, the aliens began retreating. Ships turned to escape the relentless precision of the humans. Vrax clenched his fists, rage boiling, but he could not stop the tide. The humans, small but united, had turned what seemed impossible into victory after victory. Elena watched the retreating alien fleet, her expression calm but fierce. "They underestimated us," she said softly. "That was their mistake. They mocked our size, our ships, our strength. And now they know the truth." Marco laughed over the comms. "We really are toys. The most dangerous toys in the galaxy." Elena allowed herself a small smile. "Yes, Marco, dangerous toys. And this is just the beginning." The human fleet regrouped, tiny ships glinting in the void, victorious but ready. The Zorathians had learned a valuable lesson. Size, weapons, and arrogance could not beat intelligence, courage, and unity. And as the humans moved forward, calm and precise, the galaxy would soon understand that the underestimated species called humans were far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. Vrax, watching from his flagship, whispered to himself, voice filled with a mix of awe and fear, "These humans, they are no toys. They are something far worse." The tide had turned. The humans had proven that cleverness, coordination, and courage could overcome the greatest odds. And the battle was far from over. The battlefield was a chaotic expanse of fire and light. Alien ships, once proud and confident, now staggered under the relentless attacks of the human fleet. Sparks flew across the void as explosions shook the massive alien vessels, their shields failing one by one. Captain Eleanor observed the scene from the Pioneer, calm and focused. "This is it," she said to her crew. "Push forward. Strike decisively. Show them what humans can do." The humans moved as one, small ships darting with unmatched speed and precision. Each attack was calculated, hitting critical points on alien vessels. Tiny human fighters slipped past shields, struck weapons systems and disabled engines, leaving the massive ships vulnerable. Marco's ship, the Arrow, zipped past a colossal alien battleship. He fired a well-aimed pulse that overloaded the main energy core. The ship shuddered violently, its systems failing. "Direct hit!" Marco shouted over the comms. "They're falling apart." Liara and her team targeted a command vessel. Using synchronized attacks, they disabled its navigation and communications, throwing the alien fleet into chaos. Ships collided, energy beams misfired, and panic spread among the Zorathians. Vrax roared in fury. "No, this cannot happen. They are just humans. How can such small creatures defeat us?" His pride and disbelief boiled into rage, but his orders fell short. The human fleet anticipated his moves, striking faster and smarter than he could react. The tide of battle had fully turned. The once mighty Zorathian armada was in retreat. Alien ships attempted to regroup, but confusion and fear had taken root. Every human maneuver struck with precision, exploiting the aliens' weaknesses. Elena spoke calmly into the comms. "All ships maintain focus. Target their engines and weapons. Do not let them regroup. We are not just surviving, we are winning." The humans pressed their advantage. Tiny ships, seemingly fragile, struck with deadly efficiency. Every human pilot was synchronized with the others, moving as if guided by a single mind. Their courage, intelligence, and coordination made them unstoppable. Vrax's flagship was heavily damaged. Sparks flew from breached hulls. Alarms blared and energy flickered across the deck. He stared at the screens in disbelief as human ships darted around his fleet, striking critical systems one after another. Impossible. These humans, how are they doing this?